the idea of Liberty Island is that there is a kind of a countercultural movement taking place, a cultural revolt across the country, fueled by the creative energies of people who feel excluded or disenfranchised from the popular culture as it exists today. Do you see evidence, Todd, that there is such a countercultural movement out there in the country?
You know, I do, and this may sound like well, a bit of a non sequitur in that it's not about music or comics per se, but I'm struck by how different online culture, especially amongst young people, is from almost everything you see in mainstream media. In fact, I think in much the same way that government is pretending it's in charge of the entire culture, Hollywood is still sort of pretending everybody really cares about major theatrical releases, and Broadway is pretending everyone still cares about its plays, and so forth. And meanwhile, online, there is a subversive streak amongst young people posting things that would make the Dadaists happy. I mean, like a political idea might bubble up in the morning, be parodied with 1,000 cat videos and cartoons and things, and be burnt out and considered boring by the next day, long before Hollywood has gotten around to considering treating those themes in a script. And although, if you asked a lot of those young people, they might still think that Obama is cooler than John McCain or what have you, I really think it's going to become so natural for them to see things constantly subverted, constantly trolled, constantly made fun of, that the idea of waiting for some congressional committee to come up with a plan 2 years hence before they do things is just going to seem less and less natural to them.
Are we seeing, in a way, the realization of the promise of digital technology and the internet, the idea that, I mean, it seems to me that just as there is a revolt against the political establishment, really from both directions, from the right, from the Tea Party, from the left, the Occupy movement, there seems to be a broad anti-establishment mood in the country at large, and our premise is that same kind of anti-establishment impulse is now coming to be directed against the cultural establishment, the New York publishing establishment, the Hollywood film and television establishment, and these establishments are just too slow, too bureaucratic, too massive, too much like the Titanic, if you will, to adapt and adjust and to change course. And so there's a kind of an explosion, really, of creativity that is just going to take these establishments down. Do you think that we're looking at that kind of a scenario?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I probably lean toward the almost singularity-like view that we would be unwise to try to predict how quickly things will change. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if 2 years from now things we're not even contemplating are commonplace. People will have holograms on their Google Glass and so forth.
Thanks for your time this afternoon, and everybody should definitely read Todd's story on our site. Visit your creator page, which will be up and running by the time the site launches. And look for more from Todd, especially in the area that we discussed earlier, his role as a convener of a community of graphic artists, comic artists, who are consonant with our goals at Liberty Island. Thank you very much, Todd. Have a good evening.
You too.